All right, y'all. So let's talk about this. Ben Whitaker versus Richard Rivera. I mean, what can I say? Spectacular performance. Knocked him down twice. Stopped him in 2 rounds. For Ben Whitaker, let me say, I see the talent. I always saw the talent. People talked trash because he did the Emmanuel Augustus type stuff, the Prince Nassim Hamed type stuff, which I don't know what the hell is wrong with people. They find anything to complain about. But now you got to look at it like, for me, I've always said the same thing. When you look at the light heavyweight division, the only two names that constantly come up is Bivol and, Beterbiev. You have David, the hell is the guy's name, man? Anyway, David is talking about going up the cruiserweight, right? Whatever he's talking about doing. I don't know what David is doing. Benavides. I don't know what the hell David is doing. But this is who you start looking for now. The Bivols, the Beterbievs, the Benavides. This is who you start looking for. Because at the end of the day, when you don't have the names on your resume, even though you got the skill set, you can't get credit for being better than people that's top level without beating them. Now, we can all have our opinions on who we think will win. But I'm about that action. And it's not just about saying who I think will win. It's all about, proving it in the ring. And I think that for Ben Whitaker, man, he's a problem. The thing with Ben Whitaker, it's like, can he take what he dish out? That's probably like the biggest question people have for Ben Whitaker in terms of his overall skill set. Everything that he brings is, can he take it? At the end of the day, you show us by getting in the ring fighting. I think that Ben Whitaker's a problem. The speed, the power, the timing, like he's a more complete fighter. He's always been confident. The one fight where, they flipped out the ring and then he got revenge in the rematch, people held that against him. They talked and made it seem like his career was over. They called him a fraud, a fluke, and all of these things. Well, every fight is going to have people that just don't like them. So it is what it is. But at the end of the day, that's the next steps, man. But I mean, look, Beterbiev is like damn near 40, if he's not 40 already, right? So don't know how much longer he's gonna be around. Bivol is like 35 now, something like that. So I mean, these are the guys I'd be looking for. These are the guys I'd be looking for. And if Benavides wants to drop back down to 175, why not? Whoever's there that I can make, great fights with and make some money with these guys and start rivalries there, cool. Because I don't see Ben Whitaker going up in weight, especially anytime soon. When you talk about cruiserweights, the only name that anybody ever talks about is Jao Pataya. There's nobody else there that they talk about. So, you got to think about your options to where let's capitalize on these opportunities while these guys are here. Otherwise, think about this. Without having Bivol, without having Beterbiev, he can become that guy at 175, yes. But without having these names on his resume, that will be the problem. He'd have the same issue as the Jerron Boots Ennis or anybody else that was a good fighter that ended up in a position of, I got the skills and everybody can see it. But there's no denying this guy. He goes in there and beats Bivol. He goes in there and beat Beterbiev. He goes in there and beat Benavides. People can say what they want to say, but the facts speak for themselves. So that's the next step for Ben. We can only go by what we see and what we know at the time. We'll see how tough he is. We'll see if it's the type of thing where he's just so good that these guys can't get to him and that, they can't catch him clean. Maybe they catch him clean and he takes it. Maybe they catch him clean and knock him out, right? These are questions that will be answered when the fights happen. So for me, I'm looking at, like I said, he should be trying to get in there with Bivol. He should be trying to get in there with Beterbiev. I don't want to wait for guys to get past their primes and then fight them. I want them while they're still good. So we'll see what's next for Ben Whitaker. He did a great job, man. And, you know, the thing about it is, when you go in there with guys who people think can beat you and you win, that's confidence to you. Haters are gonna hate. Haters are gonna always. These ignorant, childish people are always gonna find something to just complain about and be upset about because they want you to lose. They'll find every excuse, you know, to try to discredit you. That's the least of anybody's worries. The focus is to just go forward with your career and do what you have to do. And for me, I say target probably Beterbiev first. You know, Bivol and Beterbiev, they're one and one against each other. I say Beterbiev first because he's older than Bivol, and I want to get you while you still have it. I don't want to get you while you on your way out, because now I won, but the victory doesn't mean as much to me because I was supposed to beat you. You were a shell of yourself, you know. So I want to get you while you still on top, and after that, go get Bivol. You know, and then, you know, you get those two guys on your resume and you beat them. It's all about, does Benavides, does he want to stay at 175 and fight, man? Because even like the Bivol Beterbiev fight, I don't know why the hell he wouldn't want to make that fight. So even going, you know, up to Bridgerweight or whatever the hell it is, or like I mean, look, guys are going to do what they're going to do. But I don't know why. Because I mean, why Benavides? That's who he should be trying to get, Bivol and Beterbiev. You know, Ben Whitaker. Those are the fights that's out there, man. And, you know, if anybody's trying to talk that shit about Ben ain't fought nobody, he ain't proved himself, man, stop. The eye test shows you know that guy's ready. And he's a threat. And all of them know that. But that's what I'd be looking at. So we'll see what happens next. But Ben Whitaker is on top of his game right now, man. And as sharp as he looked, you know, in that fight, now it's time to step up in competition. Why not? Put your body through these grueling training camps, right? And that's the whole point. The payoff is the win and the money. That's why it's called prize fighting. And that's what you're doing. You're putting your body through that to earn a living, to put food on the table, to cement your legacy and all that kind of shit, whatever, fuck legacy, all that shit that people think means something really doesn't. All that stuff is just talk. People don't even know how to promote fights anymore. And basically when it comes to, you know, all this legacy talk, man, that's just talk, man. Your job is to go in there and beat whoever they put in front of you. But all of that talking and talking about legacy and, you know, being an all-time great and all this, only these old heads are talking about that shit. Nobody even cares about that shit anymore. So it's about you going in here, beating the best guys out there, making the most money you can, and understanding like this is a business and that nobody cares anymore. I mean, let's just be real. Let's look at something. Everything I tell you guys comes into fruition. I told you guys there's going to come a time people are not going to know real fighters from fake fighters, right? You're going to have guys on the same cards with real fighters. So people are going to think it's all the same. And I told you years ago, you had, what's his name? What's that guy? It was Logan Paul and KSI. They were the main event. Devin Haney fought on the undercard to Logan Paul and KSI. Devin Haney was on the undercard fighting on that card. Now look, you got Clarissa Shields getting ready to fight this chick, and you got Ray J versus Orlando Bryan. You got, bro, like, they got some circus shit going on. I ain't watching none of that dumb shit. I'd be damn, I'm going to tune in to see who win between these motherfuckers. Ray J got a pot belly. This motherfucker just had a fake fight like last month with some guy that called himself Super Hot Fire, some comedic fake battle rapping motherfucker. Okay? Yeah, they got this circus shit going on. You know, this is today's boxing. This is the point what I'm saying. This is why I lose interest in even talking about boxing 99% of the time, because we get silly stuff like that. So it is what it is. But for Ben Whitaker, yeah, that's what I say. It's time to step up in competition. I right now be making negotiations with guys like Benavides, you know, Bivol Beterbiev. I be trying to fight these guys like right now. There's no need not to, and I think he's as ready as he's ever going to be. But we'll see what happens. Talk to me in the comment section, y'all. Never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people, and I will catch y'all on the next video.